Good morning, Mendham family. Welcome back to another video. And you guys may have remembered in the last vlog I mentioned to you guys that my corn snake Ariel is growing like a weed. And what I meant by that is this right here, you guys. As you guys can see right here, already she is starting to go in blue, and that means she is obviously growing. So that's a really good sign right there. That's what I mean, she is growing like a weed. So regardless though, I'm really happy though she is growing still, you guys, because I wasn't too sure if she was going to continue growing or not several months ago. I thought she was done growing, but snakes are known to grow throughout most of their lives here. So regardless, who knows how big she's going to get. She's probably going to get like maybe 5-6 foot long probably here in another 2-3 years. Who knows exactly, but regardless though, that's not the point of today's video. So I wanted to actually cover a topic with you guys on the vlog today, so we'll go ahead actually and jump right into it here in a minute. So let's go ahead and buckle up. But before we do that, do me a favor, smash that like button for me and tell me in the comments on what you guys are doing right now. Are you guys watching this video? Because if you're not, you must be doing something else, which I don't think you should be, because I really would love it if you guys paid attention here just for a good 60 seconds here. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's topic. So for today's video topic, everybody, I wanted to cover on the top 5 best pet lizards for young beginners, actually, believe it or not. So I figure we can go ahead and just jump right into it, starting with green anole at number 5. Now you guys may remember, I may have mentioned it before, but my very first pet reptile when I was younger was a pet green anole that I purchased at my local pet shop. It was only a few dollars a piece. So, and that's one of the things that's unique about green anoles, is that they're very cheap, they're very easy to care for. You don't need a big enclosure setup for them. You can just get basically a little 5-gallon tank actually for them. And of course, actually, you guys do need to get some bedding for them, obviously, and a basking light for them. And let's see, what else could we add for them as well? They don't get too big. They only get about maybe 6-8 inches long, you guys, not too big. But there is a downside to it though with green anoles. You can't really handle them, actually, believe it or not, because you guys may have not noticed that. Believe it or not, in the wild, green anoles in general, I've seen in Florida, they're very, very jumpy, very, very active, and they technically don't like when you try to handle them. They might try and bite you a little bit. So regardless though, I think they are better at being a display animal, but still a really great pet lizard you guys to take care of for sure if you guys are interested in them. So obviously not too hard to care for, just gotta have the right bedding, you guys, and obviously you're gonna need some vegetation for them to climb out, because these guys like to climb a lot as well, kind of like chameleons in a way. They're known to be quite vertical animals. So obviously one of the easiest pet lizards to care for without a doubt. So obviously, you can definitely get one at your local pet store for sure, for only like $5 a piece, depending on where you're getting it. So, and unfortunately, though, another downside about green anoles too is that about 99% of green anoles you see in your pet shop, they're pretty much wild collected animals, because they literally are found all over the southern part of the United States, ranging all the way from Texas all the way to the Carolinas. So I guarantee you guys there is a 99% chance the ones you see at your local pet shop are probably wild collected. So don't know how well they would thrive, but regardless though, if they're young though, they might have a chance. So but still though, they are a very beautiful animal to look at, especially with that bright emerald green on them. Absolutely gorgeous animals without a doubt. So obviously, if you guys are interested in a type of pet lizard that's a great beginner and doesn't get like maybe 2-3 foot long, a green anole is a great option there for you guys out there. Number 4 on the list of the top 5 best starter pet lizards, you guys, it's a pretty popular actually in the reptile hobby for the last several years, and that would be the blue-tongued skink. And now, yes, you guys have heard that correctly. It is a blue-tongued skink that is ranked number 4 on the list. And here's several reasons why. Number 1, they don't get too large. They only get about maybe 18-20 inches tops at most, and they have a very docile temperament. They're rarely do they ever bite, but usually in defense mechanism, they will usually open their mouth and display that blue tongue, kind of like as an intimidation to warn predators to stay away from them. But sometimes they might try and bite you, and yes, they do have a strong bite. While that being that said though, they still are really docile and typically make great pets for children, though there is a possibility that a supervisor needs to be by their side just in case if something goes wrong. But really, these guys don't really need too much, believe it or not, because obviously, one, since they are native to Australia, they're probably going to be found in like a savanna type environment. So, and since they don't get too big, they probably will need the size of a 20-gallon enclosure like my girl Ariel here, probably for max size cage. And of course they're omnivores, so meaning that they eat both, like, eat plants and meat, so kind of like us human beings, since we're omnivores. So obviously it won't hurt to obviously feed your blue-tongued skink some like maybe feeder crickets, maybe rare hornworms, but also you want to give it to some other types of things that do not involve meat, maybe like some specific maybe types of fruit. Even sometimes people even feed them sometimes dog food and cat food, believe it or not. So, and I have seen it for myself, and they do pretty well on that kind of stuff. So obviously, number 4 on the list, blue-tongued skink, definitely very popular animal. The only downside about them is it's the price of them. They're kind of pricey, ranging from maybe a couple $100s to up to $1,000, depending on the morph of the blue-tongued skink. So, but regardless, though, still a great animal and have very docile temperaments. A little quick break, I guess, from today's vlog topic here of the day. I'm going to be quickly just offering my boy Tyson here a meal because it's feeding day, obviously. I always say it every time in my videos that when I feed my animals, I say feeding day, but really, what else was I supposed to say, right? So, alright, bud. I don't want to keep you waiting. Come on up here. Come on up. Let's do this. I know you want it. Come on. Come on up. It looks tasty, doesn't it? There you go. See, that wasn't so bad now, was it, guys? He took it pretty gently on that one. Normally, Lucy, she's kind of a little bit rough with it, but I still love all of them either way. And now on to the top 3, you guys. Number 3, crested geckos. Well, now you guys know crested geckos are like many other gecko species. They have webbed feet, they actually have big eyes, and obviously have a pretty cute snout. But regardless, though, there is a little bit of a difference, though, with these guys. These guys are mostly a nocturnal species of gecko. And for those of you guys that are wanting to get a pet reptile, especially like if it's a crested gecko, you're thinking probably like, well, how am I gonna like see it then? You know, like how am I gonna offer it like heat lighting? You know, well, here's the thing: you can offer them some daytime heating, but typically with a light bulb, you might want to try it for maybe from 3 to about 4 hours during the daytime. Offer them very little bit of daylight, because like I said, they are a nocturnal species, so they are going to probably be more out at night than during the day. So, but like I said, a couple hours of daylight wouldn't hurt. But of course, they're like many other captive species of geckos, like whether it's leopard geckos, gargoyle geckos, all those kinds. They are going to eat the same stuff. They're going to eat calcified mealworms, some hornworms, probably a few other crickets, some crickets as well, obviously. So, but regardless, though, they don't get too big either. They're about the same size as a green anole. They get about 8-9 inches long, and they're just so much like just like blue-tongued skinks, you guys. They are so docile, and they are super easy to handle. They do not they're not very likely to bite. So, it's kind of same thing with bearded dragons, you know. But regardless, though, if you guys are still interested in getting a crested gecko, I'd say go for it, you know. And they don't really need a big cage, probably about maybe a 15-gallon tank, you guys, if you're just keeping one. If you're keeping a pair, probably go around a 20, somewhere almost a 30-gallon at the most. Because obviously, these guys do like to climb it during the nighttime hours, climbing up their branches and vines, looking all for sorts of bugs at nighttime up there in the trees. So obviously, that's definitely an important thing there. So, like I said, if you guys are probably up for the challenge for getting a crested gecko, I don't see why not. Somebody's hungry. Are you hungry, Ellie? Are you hungry, girl? Are you hungry? Yeah, she looks very, very hungry. Let's go ahead and offer her her dinner. She's gonna be so happy about this. Alright, girl, are you hungry? Come on, big girl. Oh, you're going the wrong way. You're gonna miss it. Oh. Oh, there she goes! Yes! That is what we've been waiting for. She's taking food like a chomper. I can't believe she's been so hungry like this. Normally she's not this food aggressive, but I'm surprised she decided to go ahead and try and almost reach for my hand there for a moment, but she eventually realized, okay, I'm actually getting food. I'm gonna go ahead and chillax. So now, she's really happy about that, so enjoy your dinner, my lovely lady. making our way down, you guys, now to the number 2 of the best 5 pet lizards for beginner reptile keepers. Onto leopard geckos. Yes, everybody now knows when it comes to reptiles, everyone's heard about leopard geckos, you know, because they're so popular in the pet trade, you guys. They're like so little, they don't get too big, and they're super duper easy to care for, you guys. And literally, I actually, when I was a little kid, I thought about maybe one day I wanted a leopard gecko, but I figured, I guess not. But you know, still though, there are so many people out there that have specific different types of pet reptiles that they really are fascinated by, and many of them, especially young kids, are fascinated by leopard geckos. Because the reason of that is because leopard geckos come in so many different color mutations, so many different morphs, and they're pretty cheap actually, believe it or not, to care for as well. They don't really need a big enclosure, maybe like a 10-15 gallon tank for a single leopard gecko, and honestly, they're super, like I said, super easy to care for. They really do require some lighting, you guys. Probably, definitely a daytime light bulb, like my girl Ellie does here, you guys. And of course, obviously, the watts on it, probably I'd say give it a 75 watt bulb. That's about a 75 watt bulb right there. So, regardless though, they super easy to care for. They obviously eat the same things, just like crested geckos, you guys, and green anoles. They eat mostly just calcified mealworms, hornworms, and sometimes even crickets as well, you guys. Definitely want to try crickets as well. And you probably want to also kind of help balance their diet a little bit, because obviously leopard geckos, they are normally pretty easy to care for, but you don't want to feed them the same exact meal every single time, you guys. And of course, it's always good to offer them a meal every couple of days, you guys, obviously. And obviously, because one thing's for sure, lizards are not like snakes. A snake's metabolism is much slower than that of a lizard's. That is what I'm pretty sure of. So obviously, it's always good to feed your lizard probably like twice a week, without a doubt. Depending on the species, I'm pretty sure. Leopard geckos, definitely want to try maybe every other day. So anyway though, like I said, leopard geckos, super easy to care for, but they're not exactly my type of reptile I would keep personally, just me only. So, but if you guys are interested in them, go ahead and go for it, you know. So that's number 2 though. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start a drum roll for number 1. And if you guessed the correct one, you guys, for number 1, last but not least, you got it right. Bearded dragon, you guys. Obviously, bearded dragons, they go way back, you guys. As far as I can remember, when I first was learning about reptiles as a little kid, you know, like 7-8 years old, and seeing them in kids' books, you know, seeing them as a little pet lizard, you know, and seeing them like also in commercials as well, you know, and obviously seeing them, they're just so docile, you guys. And here's something I did mention before in one of my vlogs not too long ago, is that I mentioned that a friend of mine reached out to me actually about a bearded dragon that their sibling unfortunately didn't want to take care of it anymore, and reached out to me if I was interested in it. And I did have a quick discussion with my mom about it, and we decided to not go ahead and proceed with it. So regardless, I do kind of feel bad about not taking it in, but like I said though in the vlog, that I just recently lost my rainbow boa not too long ago, and obviously I think it was just too soon to take the animal. So regardless though, hopefully that bearded dragon finds a really good home as well pretty soon here anytime. So regardless, anyway, back to what I was discussing with bearded dragons. Super easy to care for right off the bat. They don't require too much, you guys. Obviously, they definitely require a good sized tank, depending on if you're keeping a pair of them. A single individual bearded dragon as a baby is going to probably need a 10-gallon enclosure as a baby, just as a baby. But once you get about full adult size, a single individual adult bearded dragon is going to probably need a 20-gallon tank. So, and obviously the type of substrate, some people might be thinking, since it's a desert type of reptile, they're thinking right to sand. Obviously, I don't think sand is going to be the right bedding. What would I go for? I think I would have to go with, to be totally honest with you, I would actually probably stick with this cocoa fiber bedding that I have from Zoom Med. I forgot what it was called. EcoEarth. It's definitely the product, you guys. I probably would go with that one. But if you guys want to go for like Repta chips or something by Zoom Med, that could work too, I suppose. But regardless though, Repta sand, I've heard, is very controversial, and many reptile keepers, especially some of the professionals that I've learned on YouTube on, have obviously suggested do not do it. Do not use sand as bedding, because obviously if they're trying to eat you guys, some of that sand can get ingested into their food a lot, pretty easy. So, and trust me, we don't want that to happen. So Regardless though, still very easy to care for. Bearded dragon foods, same thing. Crickets, mealworms, and hornworms. And it's kind of the same thing with leopard geckos. They do need a balanced diet on that. Offer some mealworms from time to time. Maybe offer a hornworm once in a while. And of course, obviously, you gotta offer them crickets without a doubt. Mainly crickets. So that is like basically the main thing right there. Now, when it comes to temperature, bearded dragons really need it dry, like really dry. We're talking about probably highs from upper 80s to probably somewhere low 90s as an average, somewhere around there. A basking spot close to about a little over 100 degrees, about that mark. You don't want it too hot though, because, and obviously, I'm gonna get to that real quick. There is a product, you guys, that everybody's heard of. It's called a basking rock, or heat rock, excuse me. It's a heat rock. And obviously, we know heat rocks are one of the worst supplies or products to keep a pet reptile with, because these heat rocks, there's been so many problems with them. And obviously, when it comes to pet reptiles, when the reptiles are basking on those heat rocks, there is so many problems with them. Especially, like, take for example, my corn snake here, Ariel, was basking on a heat rock for a good maybe 2-3 hours within the whole 12-hour day period. There's a good chance she's gonna get burnt. Her belly's gonna be like burnt, you guys. She's gonna get like kind of like a sunburn, you know. And obviously that is a really bad thing. That is something very seriously you don't want to happen, because obviously your animal's going to need medical attention for that, for any species of reptile for that matter. So if you are interested in getting a bearded dragon, and if you really need to keep the temperature highs in 80s, upper 80s to near 90s, I highly do not recommend getting a heat rock for them, because like I just said, it's just really bad for the animal and cause some serious skin problems. So anyway, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for the top 5 best pet lizards for beginner pet reptile keepers out there. So I hope you guys by now understand of what I went over. If I missed anything on those top 5 lizards that I just discussed, let me know in the comments below, because maybe I did not fully address it clearly 100%, but if you guys can, that would be really supportive of you guys. I would really like to get some feedback from other keepers out there that obviously have some other information that I may or may not know of. So regardless, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this vlog up here for the night. So if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, smash that like button for me, you guys. It would really help my channel a lot, and hopefully we can actually learn one day. The community right now has been through so much over the years, and hopefully we can actually start piecing the puzzle pieces back together, you guys, and one day we can hopefully all get along. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this vlog up. So do me a favor also, smash the subscribe button, you guys, if you really enjoyed this video. And I promise I'll see you boys on the next one. Good night.